Good evening, everyone, and I'm afraid it's that time again. For an
SCP Blackout indiedev vlog.
Today I'm going to be talking about video game sound effects, Foley, and how to create the illusion of space using various plugins. In the past couple weeks, Kyle and I have kind of been reworking some of the story elements and sound elements of the game to try to give it a more theatrical feel. So today I'm going to walk you through a few examples of footsteps, screams, metallic scraping, and vents. And I'll show you how these sounds can come from really interesting places. So the first part of the process is Kyle will give me a list of sounds that he's looking for a certain event in the game. So depending on what the sound is, I'll go through my stuff and try to find something that can create a similar sound. Then I break out my mic. With the footstep sound effects, I'll probably start with a pair of shoes and some kind of surface. I just grabbed an old pair of shoes. I like this pair because they have like a nice crunchy leathery sound. And a nice crunchy clicky sound when you're walking. It gives it a lot of depth. And after I record a good amount of the sound, and I think I'm ready to edit, I'll go ahead and start chopping it up. Before I go any further, organize your files. Organize your files. You know, they're just scattered all over your desktop and you can't find anything and all your sound effects are all over the place. Organize your files. And once I get my files nice and organized, I can start editing. I start by adding a soft compressor. Then I'll go through all of the audio that I have and I'll pick out the best parts. Now for the footsteps, you want them to be individual. So we'll chop up each individual footstep and export that as its own file. And with footsteps, you want to do a lot of different variations, and depending on the surfaces in the game, you'll want to get a lot of different surfaces as well. So obviously I chose a metallic surface, so I'm going to want to add a little bit of pingy reverb to that. And once I think I got the sound where I want it, I'll export my file. This is just a rough example. The second sound effect I'm going to do today is a vent crawl sound effect. I found that my desk actually makes some pretty interesting and convincing vent sound effects. So I might look for random objects or tools to help me create the illusion of this vent sound. Now, with the vent sound, I'll start the same with the compressor, and I'll go ahead and add a pitch bender. I'll match the pitch until it sounds as close to a vent as possible. I'll then add a low-pass filter. This will add a muffled effect to make it sound like the sound is traveling through layers of steel. And here's the final product. Again, this is really rough. And the last thing I'm going to be doing today, the most ridiculous aspect of voice acting, the body sounds. Now this is where it can get kind of crazy and you're really going to kind of upset your neighbors, so you pick a good time to do it, or people might think you're being murdered. Please God, no! And with body sounds, I just kind of go crazy. If it's a hit sound effect or an impact sound effect, I'll kind of beat my chest like a gorilla along with it, like a so you can kind of hear the hit with the body sound. My biggest tip for doing body impact sound effects and screams is to just go all out. You might freak your neighbors out, but go for it, because you're going to be able to tell if you're holding back. Oh, please, God, no! Well, that about wraps up this indie dev vlog for the week. We hope to see you next week, and remember, always, and good tidings.